Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is my June favorites. I don't even want to talk about how crazy it is that June is almost over. When you're watching this, it's probably over. June flew by. I cannot believe we are like well into summer now. So much is going on in my life. We're going through some pretty big life changes right now, so the time is just flying by and I can't believe June is like, I can't believe it's almost July. I just can't believe it. I had some real standout products this month that I knew were going to be favorites, so I'm really excited to share these with you. I don't have a ton, but I have a good amount. Before I get into it, I do have a giveaway going on. I will definitely link it below. It'll be linked in all of my videos. Okay, so that's out of the way. Let's jump into June favorites. My first favorite is an eyeshadow palette that I absolutely love, that you probably maybe could have guessed. I recently reviewed this on my channel and it just stood out as an amazing product. This is the Lunar Beauty Life's a Drag eyeshadow palette. This is Manny MUA's new brand. I did a complete review with 3 different eyeshadow looks on this palette. I will make sure and link that in the description box and up here in the card so you can check it out, because I worked really hard on that video and I had so much fun creating different looks with this palette. I could probably create, I think I said this in the video, like 25 looks easy, like all different looks with this palette. It is so inspiring to me. I haven't heard a ton of buzz. I feel like this palette released and then right after this palette released, Jaclyn Hill announced her Morphe collab and sent it out in PR, and then all of the buzz is about that, and now of course they're pushing back the launch, so all the buzz is on those palettes, and I feel like people kind of forgot to talk about this one maybe, or maybe people just didn't prefer it, I don't know, but I love this palette. Another thing I think that is throwing people off in this palette, or threw me off at first, is the fact that it doesn't have a color story. The colors aren't necessarily cohesive when you look at it. For example, the new Violet Voss Flamingo eyeshadow palette, that one has a really strong color story. When you look at that, it's just fun to look at. All the colors really go together and complement each other. There's a lot of the same tones, like similar turquoise blues and similar pinks and stuff in that palette. So I think it's just more appealing to the eye. And I know personally I was thrown off by the Life's a Drag palette, just the fact that it didn't have that. But I feel like it brings out my artistic side. So I feel like this isn't definitely not going to be a palette for everybody because of that, but I think it might be for somebody who is really creative and somebody who just likes to have fun with makeup and try new things with makeup and have a lot of options but not be restricted by a color story necessarily. I think that people like that will really love this palette. The eyeshadow quality is on point. So easy to blend, really beautiful, really nice color payoff. I mean, the bright colors are just fantastic. The nudes are really nice too. He did a very good job with this palette. I am so impressed with it. The fact that it's like a drag theme palette could be throwing people off too, because people think maybe they think they're supposed to do drag looks with it. Definitely not. This is just a palette that you can do anything with this palette. Seriously, you can do a lot, and it's not going to be for someone who, like I said in my review, who wants something really cut and dry and simple. This is going to be for someone who wants to get outside the box, out of their comfort zone, and really just have fun and be creative. So I love the Life's a Drag palette. My next favorite is the Makeup Revolution Stick Foundation. I'm so excited to have found this foundation. I just filmed a get ready with me. It was a first impressions using the Dominique Cosmetics Lemonade palette. That should be up soon if it's not already up. I used this foundation in that video, and before that I had been using the ColourPop No Filter foundation, which is not in this video, is not a favorite, but I had been using that a lot because I wanted to get my full thoughts on it, and I was so happy to come back to this one because I missed it. I love it. I love this is so easy to use. You just, I mean, it's a stick foundation, so you just slide it on your face, draw it on your face, and then I just push it in with a really dense, it's actually a powder brush, but just a really soft, dense brush. I just push it right into my skin and it fills in those pores and it makes my skin look almost airbrushed. It's got great coverage. I would say it's pretty much full coverage. I think you could buff it out to be medium coverage. The foundation lasts really well. It lasts all day. It's a little bit on the dewier side. Even when you set it with the powder, it can still come out a little bit dewy. I don't mind that. I prefer that to feeling dry, but I always set it with the powder, and I'm going to talk about powder in a second here that I've been loving too. But it's just such a beautiful foundation. I highly recommend it if you're looking for a nice affordable foundation. The only downside to the foundation is that I don't think it's going to last me very long. It is I believe it's a $9 foundation, and I'm already over half done with it. Granted, I've used it for maybe 3 weeks, so I think it's going to be one of those that doesn't last as long as other foundations. I also probably use a lot more than I need to, but that's just what I like to do. You know, if you use the smaller amount, it would last you longer, but I just love the foundation and I highly recommend it. I'm so excited. I want to do a full face makeup revolution video now that they have a foundation and a concealer that I like, so that's exciting. Next is the Becca HydraMist Set and Refresh Powder. I raved about this in the video that I just filmed. This is the powder that I use to set that foundation. I've used this with other foundations. Not only is it just crazy fun to use, because it feels wet, it literally feels like your brush is wet when you're putting it on your face. It feels like your brush, like you washed it and it didn't dry all the way. That's how it feels. I'm going to link the video where I use this because you can really see it in action, I think. It feels wet, but it looks dry. Like, it sets your foundation, and if you have a dewy or oily foundation, it sets it. But it doesn't set it so much that it's like so dry and cakey, and you know how sometimes when you set your foundation it can immediately go from looking really nice and dewy and natural to dry and crusty, and it even feels dry. This doesn't do that at all. So I think this powder would be excellent for somebody who has dry skin. I think if you have dry skin, I think you're gonna love this powder. I don't have dry skin, I have combo skin. Sometimes it's dry, sometimes it's oily, sometimes it's both in the same day. I think this would work for people with dry skin because it's not drying. I don't feel like it sucks the moisture out. It's cooling, so it's really refreshing, and it works for like touching up your makeup throughout the day. It gives you that cooling, refreshing feeling, kind of like a setting spray might do. And it also does layer on top of itself really well. The only problem I've had with this was when I first used it, I used way too much because I was so into how it felt that I was just kind of like going like this for a few minutes, and all of a sudden it got really cakey and crusty and weird. So as long as you don't use too much, it works really, really well. I highly recommend the powder. I think it's a really great powder and I'm really excited about it. Next, I have a bronzer. This is the No. 7 bronzer in Caramel. I've heard quite a few good things about this bronzer by quite a lot of people, so I went out and bought it, a little while ago, and I wanted to try it out, and I'm really enjoying it. It's super soft. This shade is nice for me because it's a bronzer shade, but it's not too dark. It's pretty user-friendly. I love my user-friendly bronzers, where I can just kind of slap it on and I don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, it got a little bit too far or whatever. I'm not wearing that today. I'm actually wearing the Morphe Contour palette today, but I'm really enjoying this No. 7 bronzer. Again, it's really soft. It feels so soft and smooth. It's not too pigmented, but it's just right. And the shade Caramel is just really pretty on my skin tone for just warming up the face and looks really natural in my opinion. So really glad that I tried this bronzer, and I love it. I fell in love with this Sonia Kashuk Quick Dry Brush Cleaner. Quick Clean Dry Brush Spray. That's what they call it. Basically, it's a dry brush spray. You spray it on your eyeshadow brushes and wipe them off on like a towel or something, and they're dry and you can use them immediately. It's nice because it's in an aerosol can too, so like I have the e.l.f. brush cleaner that I like, but that's with like a hose spray, so if you're tipping that upside down or tipping it even like to spray your brush, if it's getting lower it's really hard to use, but this is pressurized so you don't have that problem and it's a continuous spray. I do have Rosie here helping me out, so she has some stuff to say as always. You want to say something? What do you want to say? Is that a good brush? This is Rosie's monthly favorite. It's the Real Techniques blush brush. Feels really good on her teeth. A couple of ColourPop products here. This is the Superstar Loose Pigment in the shade Quicksand. I'm trying really hard to love these loose pigments because they are really pretty. This one is so pretty. It's like a bronze with gold glitter, and it's so sparkly and pretty. Some of them are less sparkly than you would think they would be, but this one is really pretty and I love it. And then their Ultra Glossy Lip in the shade Flying Horses. This is one of their new Ultra Glossy Lips with the brush applicator, and I love this gloss. I love the color. It's pretty sheer. It's not pretty sheer. It's like medium. It's not like opaque, but it's definitely got a nice color to it. And I just put it over like a lip liner, and it's just so pretty and glossy. Again, not wearing it today. I'm wearing Wet n Wild, but I have been wearing this quite a lot and I really do love it. You show them this one? Polish Tropicana. Of all the new polishes, the Havana Heat collection that came out for this summer, Tropicana is definitely my favorite for summer. Yellow is just my favorite thing for summer. Yellow nails, yellow eyeshadow. I don't know what it is, but just like a rich, beautiful, juicy yellow I'm really loving. I also wanted to give a shout out to the nails that I've been wearing for a couple of months now. These are by Kiss. It's Bring the Salon Home Kiss Medium Length Gel Fantasy Ready to Wear Gel nails. So they're basically glue-on nails. They come with glue and sticky tabs, like double-sided sticky tabs. So if you prefer to use the tabs, you can do that. I do that only if I'm like gonna film a video and want to take them off right after the video. I've used those tabs, otherwise I'd use the glue. These have been on my nails for 3 days, 4 days, I guess it's not that long, but it feels like it's quite a long time. Maybe like 5 days, I don't know. And if they pop off, you can easily glue them back on, which I really appreciate. Being a mom, I don't always want to have nails, so I don't want to pay to get my nails done at the salon, you know, to get like acrylic or anything like that, because I want to be able to take them off if I have to. And these also aren't that long. They're just long enough that I think they make my hands look nice and a little bit longer, like my fingers longer, and they're flattering, but they're not so long that I can't do things. I gotta do things, right? And these actually are easy to pop off too. Even with the glue, anytime that I felt like I wanted to take them off, I've been able to just easily pop them off. I've never had one like stuck and I can't get it off. Sometimes they fall off accidentally, but I just keep a couple packs of those. There's 28 nails in a pack, so it really does go a long way. And you can, I mean, they're all different sizes, so you can kind of mix and match whatever works for you. And then I paint these actually when they're not on my nails. So they're all painted and ready to go when I'm ready to throw them on, which is really convenient. I just put them on like some tape, I stick them on the tape, and then I paint them. I can show you guys if you want to see a video on how I do my fake nails, let me know. So I wanted to give those a shout out. Okay, the last product I want to talk about is a deodorant. I did talk about 2 deodorants in my last empties video, natural deodorants, the Tarte one and the La Vanilla one. Those are both obviously high-end from Sephora. This one is from Target. This is the Schmidt Lavender and Sage Natural Deodorant, and oh my gosh, this has changed my life. I have never found any deodorant, natural or otherwise, that I like as much as this one. Feels a little bit tough going on, like it doesn't glide on smooth like the Tarte one. It was so almost slippery smooth, but it doesn't hurt going on, it doesn't tug, it just doesn't glide on quite the same as the Tarte one. First of all, it's lavender and sage, which smells amazing. The first few days I was using this, I like kept smelling it and didn't realize it was my deodorant, and I was like, what is that amazing smell? Who's diffusing essential oils or something? Like, what's going on? And I realized it was this. It smells so good, and that's a huge part of why I like it, but it also stops my sweat. And I know what you're thinking, Liz, it's a natural deodorant, how can it stop your sweat? It's not an antiperspirant. But it does something amazing. So it says neutralize odor and absorb wetness, free of aluminum, propylene glycol, parabens, and phthalates. I don't know what it is. It's something they did amazing, because it really does. It does neutralize odor and it does absorb wetness, and I am super obsessed with this. I'm so happy I tried it. The only reason I bought this was because we were going on vacation and I didn't want to use my Arbonne one. I was like over that one, you know, it just didn't do anything for me, and I was like, well, let me just try something, and I got this one. So I really bought it on a whim. I had no idea I was going to like it this much, and I'm so glad I did, because I really, really love the Schmidt's deodorant. So yay for me. Have you tried this one? Have you tried any of the other scents? Do they even have other scents? I don't know, but I'm sticking with lavender and sage because I love lavender so much. Okay guys, that is everything for my June favorites. I would love to hear anything that you've been loving this month. That's everything I have to say. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you have the notification bell turned on. Alright guys, thanks for watching again. I really do appreciate you, and I will talk to you again very soon. Bye!